Hi, my name is Talia. Welcome to Talia Nerds Out. I have a guest today for a book tag.
Hi, I'm Marlecia from Marlecia's Meanderings.
So we are going to be doing, because we were both tagged in this, the Hitchhiker's Guide tag. I've actually watched the movie once.
I've seen the movie a couple of times. Never read the book, though.
Yeah, I've never was really that... I know people are really into it, just, okay. But that's cool.
We were tagged by... we were both tagged by...
Ghost Readers in the Sky. The tag was created by Gareth from Books, Songs, and Other Magic.
So we thank him for creating it, and we thank Ghost Readers in the Sky for tagging us.
Yes.
Okay.
So number one is, for prompts, is Demolishing Your House. What book would you look for first to save from the demolition? So we both stated that it would be the Bible. Now you grabbed your white one there.
I did.
And the one that I grabbed...
We have several.
Yeah, I think that I grabbed the Adventure Bible. Now, the Bible that's in here is not the same one I had in here from college. I got this case from college because I was in the Warriors of the Word household. But I like it because you can kind of like act like this is a shield.
Yeah, it's kind of cool.
So it's like, even though your arm won't fit through here.
Like, yeah.
But you can imagine kind of like a shield like that.
Buckler.
But you can put it like on your belt or you could
backpack or something.
Backpack, something. And then it had the pocket. Yeah, I really liked this case. It's stuck with. It's been years that I've had this.
This is my newest Bible. I got this when I made my 25 years for my profession to the Holy Family Institute. My husband got it for me,
and I have mine like that too from when I made my perpetuals.
And this I haven't.
I like the ribbons in that one.
I like the fact that it has tabs to it.
Yeah, because I had to put the tabs into this one.
We have to go through my Adventure Bible and do that because I
thought I did that for yours.
Not yet.
Oh, okay. I could have sworn I did.
I have to go back and see which one.
Because I was pretty sure I did it for your Adventure Bible and your Catechism.
I know you did the Catechism.
Because I sat a long time doing both of our things for that. So
her eyesight and her hand are steadier, so she does it for me. I will just make a mess out of it.
So yes.
So the Bible.
The Bibles are newer, but this case is ancient.
And we have several, so whichever one we grab, and then our prayer book.
Yeah,
This is our Pauline prayer book. So, yeah.
But if I had to make a choice between the Bible and Pauline prayer book, as long as I have my phone, I could definitely just grab it. Because,
well, this is the first thing. If I could choose one other thing, it would be this, which I would have then
both of them.
A lot of things on. So,
but we're not including ebooks, or not yet. We're not including the Kindle because that's cheating.
But that didn't say anything.
That feels like cheating.
That didn't say anything. But let's go.
Okay, Vogon, number 2, Vogon Poetry. Quote a poet, a line of poetry, or a lyric that you love. So we're actually going to switch off because we have the same poem.
Yes, we both immediately thought of it. It's the Road Less Traveled The Road Not Taken
by Robert Frost.
And I always call it The Road Less Traveled because that's the way I always think of it.
2 roads diverged in a yellow wood, and sorry I could not travel both, and be one traveler. Long I stood, and looked down one as far as I could, to where it bent in the undergrowth.
Then took the other as just as fair, and having perhaps the better claim, because it was grassy and wanted wear. Though as for that, the passing there had worn them really about the same.
And both that morning equally lay, in leaves no step had trodden black. Oh, I kept the first for another day, yet knowing how way leads on to way, I doubted if I should ever come back.
I shall be telling this with a sigh, somewhere ages and ages hence. 2 roads diverged in a wood, and I took the one less traveled by, and that has made all the difference. I've always loved this poem, maybe because I was a military brat and a military spouse. We were always taking different roads and different paths and different ways and wondering, well, what if we chose a different road? What if we chose a different assignment? For example, when my older daughter, Talia's sister, we were what's called EFMP transfer. She's special needs, and they had to send us back. And we ended up with 2 assignments, one to Texas and one to Washington, D.C. And we had to decide which road to take. And we discussed and we decided, okay, well, Texas, we've already been there. Both the girls were born in Texas. My parents are in Philadelphia. His parents were in Cleveland. It was closer to D.C. So based on all that information, we chose that. And then we look back and say, gee, the only way I seem to have kids is when we're in Texas. What would have happened if we went back to Texas? Because we wanted more kids. But, you take the road and then you wonder about the other one.
It was the first poem I memorized. Did you say you had Lord of the Rings over there, right? Did you grab it?
Lord of the Rings?
I thought you said you grabbed... There's a point. I have a point to it. Did you grab Lord of the Rings?
No.
Oh, okay, I thought you did. No. Because I want to say that Bilbo has a poem that makes me think of that.
I think you're right.
And then so I wanted to take a look at your Lord of the Rings because I didn't grab it.
Well, even the name of his book is there and back again.
Yeah, but I feel like he had a poem, and I can't pull it completely out of my head.
It's been a long time since I've read the actual Hobbit.
I don't think it's in the Hobbit.
I thought you said Bilbo did it.
Bilbo did, but that doesn't mean it's in the Hobbit. I don't think he wrote it in the Hobbit. I want to say that you first see it in the Fellowship of the Ring, I want to say. And I can't remember if one of the younger hobbits said it because they had heard Bilbo saying it, or if it was one of the things that Bilbo said when he was in the halls of Elrond, because he was writing poetry there.
I'd have to look. I don't remember that.
And I can't look on my phone because my phone is recording.
Yeah. We'll have to look later on. No, I don't have the Hobbit with me. It's
not the Hobbit. Like I said, I'm pretty sure it's the Fellowship.
I don't have any of them. I don't have any of them with me. So they're in my shelf somewhere.
I know. And then one of the things I was doing is I was looking past the camera to see if I could see your book easily, but it doesn't let you keep it there.
I think my Lord of the Rings is upstairs.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So it doesn't get damaged.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because I was looking for him. Like, I don't see it here.
That's a big book.
It is.
It's a beautiful book. It's upstairs along with all my other pretty books.
And mine is in my room. So.
Okay. So what's the next one?
So the next one is 42. The answer to life, the universe, and everything. What is the point? What is the meaning of life?
I'm not sure what this question is asking.
The Baltimore Catechism,
the Baltimore Catechism,
to know, love, and serve God in this world,
and to be with Him, happy with Him forever.
In the next.
Yes, I mean that's the answer. This Baltimore Catechism answer, to know, love, and serve God,
so we can be happy with Him in the next.
Yeah, I know it. I just because I'm trying to remember it, I'm flustered. But yes, that is the answer. But.
So, yes, we're going to go with that one.
Yeah, I don't know what this is asking other than that. I mean, book related. I don't know how to do that exactly. Okay.
It's radio beginning. What is your favorite memory in your experience as a listener to the radio?
Do you want me to go first?
Go first because I don't really have much in the way. I
can remember because I'm older than dirt. I can remember back in the very early 60s being in my grandmother's house, and she had the radio turned on to the Lone Ranger. So I would hear the Lone Ranger. I think we heard the Green Hornet once in a while, but mostly I remember the Lone Ranger, just wanting to sit there.
You see, my experience with the Lone Ranger was, of course, a TV show.
Well, I had that too, but as for radio, it was the Lone Ranger. I forget what the name of the actors and stuff were because it was different from the ones who were on TV, but I do remember sitting there because we didn't see my grandmother a whole lot because we were always moving around. But when we did, I remember the early years being able to sit in front of the radio and listen to the Lone Ranger. And that's what I basically remember most, my earliest radio memories.
My sister's the one who really likes the radio shows.
But that's
I'm just saying, she listens to the old Burns and Allens. And if I was to mention anything, it probably would be the Burns and Allen. There's a couple Christmas ones, but honestly, I didn't have a whole lot of exposure to the radio shows. That just wasn't. I mean, I guess they aren't saying radio shows; they're saying listeners to the radio. But I don't have a whole lot of.
And there was a lot of music, but I didn't do. I was a really odd kid. I liked music. I played music, but I didn't really get into music till almost when I met your father. Oh, yeah. I
when Dad did the mixtapes and stuff.
Yeah,
for you?
I mean, I started pulling in things like Fleetwood Mac and Bread and Cat Stevens and things like that, and some of the top 40 things. But I was more of the kind of person who I liked songs as opposed to groups. And then I would look and say, oh, I guess I like this group.
Right.
Because I just wasn't one to kind of say I have to be that group. Every time I tell my husband what I like, he kind of rolls his eyes, Foreigner and Kansas and all that kind of stuff. He's like, you had no taste. But he got me into stuff like Motown and actually into country music, because back when we would travel cross country, at the minute we put on country music, it was like, I can't listen to this stuff. It's like twang, twang, twang. And I love country music now. It's
the style has changed now.
And I don't even mind the old stuff anymore.
Yeah, George Strait has some good stuff.
But yeah, so I'm not sure that's exactly answering the question.
Yeah, and I don't have a lot. Even when we were listening to music, we didn't listen to a ton on radio. We usually made our own thing. So I don't really have a radio experience.
Lori Allen, Christmas
No,
Tape.
I mentioned that, but I don't really have a strong. Davina really is the one who really likes those radio shows. I've just never really gotten into
this. Wasn't a show. This was Christmas time. I can remember being in Europe.
I mean, radio, whatever.
You were very little for Lori Allen too, like too little. But when we were in Europe, they always had in AFN Casey Kasem's countdowns and things like that. So that was a big part of my last 2 years of high school. Every week they'd have the countdown, and then they had the end of the year. And then Lori Allen, when I went and joined my husband in Europe, he pulled us over for a remote that could support a family. So we did it on our own dime and came there, and she would put together Christmas stuff.
Lori Allen.
And so for when we were in Europe. So she wasn't a singer. She was a DJ or something.
Yeah.
And I remember that as well.
Well, Davina mentions the Lori Allen radio stuff that she has. Like,
I think she has the tapes.
Yeah, Davina has like a ton of the older stuff. So she would have a better idea. Actually, the funny thing is she might have listened to more than you have. And she can repeat them probably
almost word for
word.
And you might hear some extraneous noise. I don't know if my husband and my other daughter, Davina, knows that we're recording. So,
no, they might not. Davina might have a vague recollection, but she might have forgotten. But yeah, so yeah, the big answer is I don't really have a lot for radio.
Right.
I remember when we went to visit the radio station here. Do you remember that?
Vaguely, yes.
Because I remember
what was Mrs.
It was a homeschool.
Lampert.
Yeah. And I remember them talking about Patsy Cline, who's from this area.
That was early on.
Yeah.
Here.
Well, like I said, it was early on. That I remember that, but I really don't remember listening to the radio that much. Okay. The towel. What book or books would you pack for a holiday?
That was kind of hard. The cheating version is to say I bring my Kindle. But let's see, you go ahead and tie it. I'll pull mine out here.
Okay, so whoopsie, down goes. Down it goes. More it goes down.
I thought I pulled some other books. I don't know what happened to them.
Who knows? They all fall down. Okay,
Paper down.
let's see. I'm just trying to make sure that I was grabbing everything that I wanted. Okay, I wanted to grab the other two. Okay. So, where are you? There you are. I grabbed several different kinds of books. I'm assuming they mean holiday in the way that the British mean holiday, which is vacation.
Yes, that's what I thought. But I kind of also...
I did end up accidentally combining part of that, where I ended up grabbing, because I needed an Agatha Christie.
Of course.
I grabbed A Holiday for Murder, which I had originally read as Hercule Poirot's Christmas. It was my first Poirot mystery back when I had a paperback version. So this is not the version I originally owned, but this one would probably go with me.
Ty and I read this one together last year.
Yes, we did. And then I went ahead and grabbed an omnibus. So Agatha Christie's Detectives, which of course these two books fit in with our cozy, with the Detection Club readathon. So we have videos on that too. Anyway, plug. Agatha Christie's Detectives, the complete novels. So Murder at the Vicarage, which is Miss Marple. Dead Man's Folly, which is a Poirot. Sad Cypress, which is a Poirot. Towards Zero, which is the superintendent battle, and then N or M, which is Tommy and Tuppence.
I like that book.
I haven't yet read N or M.
I have.
But all the others I have read.
I think I've read all of them except.
I don't think. Have you read Set Separate Set?
Yes.
Okay.
That's the one where the roses at the end, white roses and red roses.
That's the one with the young doctor.
The one where the with the girl Mary who dies.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
Thankfully, it's a common name, so it's like
yeah.
Okay. And Murder at the Vicarage, of course, is the first Miss Marple.
Yeah, I read
you
that
read that
one.
last year. Have you read Dead Man's Fall yet?
I think so.
Oh, and Mrs. Oliver's in that one.
Right. That's
the one where she writes a murder play.
Yes.
You remember that now?
Yes.
So, yes, this is a good one because you get most of the detectives in here.
It's missing Harley Quinn.
Well, he's kind of a different field than some of the others.
I know.
The one that I think it's missing is Colonel Race.
Yes.
Like, I can see where Harley Quinn might be in a different kind. He's a little bit of a different feel. But
he's almost quasi-supernatural.
He is. He is. So he kind of doesn't fit in with these others, but it's actually almost sinful that you don't have a Colonel Race in
I like
here.
Colonel Race.
Because he's in enough of the Poirot ones that you could slide him in. And then he has, by himself, the man in the brown suit. But, hang on, I'm not done. I'm not done. Then,
well, I know, but this kind of fits in with.
Okay, go ahead. Yes, you are allowed.
I pulled up the another Agatha Christie as well.
I thought of that one.
It's Agatha Christie, The Adventure of Christmas Pudding.
I love that cover too.
I do love this cover.
And there's more in there than just the big part of it is novella. But you also have a couple short stories in here. I don't know if you were aware of that.
I don't know if I read those or not.
So, there's Adventure of the Christmas. Then you have The Mystery of the Spanish Chess, which is a short story. The Underdog, short story. 4 and 20 Blackbirds. The Dream, and Greenshaw's Folly.
I might have to read these, yeah.
These all are short stories. The Adventure of the Christmas Pudding is the main part of it.
I read that one, but I didn't realize this had more than one. I might have to read these for the Detection Club.
Now, and the rest of them are not Christmas related. It's only the Christmas Pudding one, which is interesting why they put them all kind of in there under that cover. It was kind of an odd choice. But, yes. So my other two, they're unrelated to any of the others. I would have to grab... Well, I first just grabbed Rose and Bloom. And I was like, well, if I grab Rose and Bloom, I need to grab 8 Cousins.
Right.
And actually, this fits in with the Manifest Destiny readathon that Ariana Bookzealots is running. So go check out her channel. And yeah, I've always liked 8 Cousins, but I have always loved Rose and Bloom.
Yes.
And honestly,
I love
as much as I like Little Women, I love these books more.
It's a toss-up. I really love Rose and Bloom.
Well, I'd love to see the characters together because I think that they would work very well together. They're all different enough. You probably would have like Joe and Charlie would not work together.
No more than Joe and Lori. I don't think Lori would like Charlie.
I don't think Lori would like Charlie either. And Lori might have a hard time at the beginning because he spent all his time hanging out with girls. And then you have these boys that are just like...
Boys.
All boy.
You might get along with Mac all right.
Yeah. Although
or maybe
Steve, yeah. Because Mac is a bit acerbic. And I'm trying to think who would work best with a Mac. Now, Beth is just quiet.
Beth works with everybody. Amy would be able to handle herself with him.
Yeah, I think I'm trying to think of one who had the most interests in common, but he's not whimsical. No, actually, he is. He's a writer. He's a poet. Joe. And I was just thinking, I was wondering if Joe and Mac, I think, are about the same age. She might be a little bit older because I remember we charted out who was in what age at one point, and we figured out like Charlie was about, I think we said that Charlie's about Meg's age. He was either about Meg's age or about Joe's age because they're all like stair-step with each other. Because Archie was was still the oldest of everybody, and then you just kind of like stair-stepped your way down. But yes. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. If I had to choose one other one, it probably would be Little Women, so I can write my Little Women Rose and Bloom fanfic, apparently.
Well, I have also some written down, so I want to go looking for books. You know, it goes without saying, my Bible and A Christmas Carol. Also, I say anything by Agatha Christie, which is covered here. Hunger Games and Timothy Zahn.
Yeah, I
Timothy
didn't.
Zahn.
Because I limited myself to one shelf. I wasn't able to go and get my Timothy Zahn.
I didn't go and get my books. I would like to have the Quadrail series, or maybe the Pawn Knight Queen. There's one missing in there somewhere.
Pawn, Knight, Rook. No, wait, Knight's the Rook.
Pawn.
Isn't Knight and Rook
Pawn,
the same
Rook,
thing?
Knight. I don't know. No, not the same.
King.
I don't think there was a king. I think Queen was the last because she was the main
Yeah,
character.
I haven't actually read that particular series.
But my favorite of his that's not Star Wars related is the Quadrail series.
I would be possibly reading Quadrail and or Angel Mass.
So
Angel Mass. I am just like with Austin. I intend to read Angel Mass with you at some point because I think now that you've experienced Night Queen, blah blah blah, where you didn't like the character first and then you got to like her, I think now you'll be able to get to a point where you give Chandris a chance.
Did he do the one I like with the snake or whatever he is?
The Dragonback series. Yes.
I like the Dragonback.
Yes, he also did the Dragonback series.
I do like that series.
We met Timothy Zahn's work through Star Wars, and then I took a path down examining his other works, and then I brought Mom into, because I've read quite a few of his older works. After a while, and he's still producing stuff. It's just that after a while, I couldn't necessarily handle the excitement level. I do a lot of rereading. I do a lot of old book reading because I can't always handle the tension of some of the newer books.
And I forgot to put an author. You saw me my last book haul, Patrick Carr. His books are so big, though. I would probably have to put them on Kindle because they're like this thick.
Yeah, you had no idea how big they were.
I had no idea how thick they were, and I have all of them on the Kindle. I'm missing one of the 7 books for the 2 sets because he's rewriting it and it's only available on Kindle. I do have it on Kindle, but and I if I could have the Kindle, I'd put him there. Otherwise, he'd be kind of unwieldy to carry around.
So then the next one is the Infinite Improbability. The Infinite
Probability.
Improbability. I don't know why I'm having trouble saying that. The Infinite Improbability Drive. There. Take a drink of tea.
Reward yourself.
Yes, I am drinking Hercule Poirot's Christmas tea.
Although
it doesn't have tea at the end, it's just Hercule Poirot.
I was going to drink my Little Grey Cells, but it had different steep times.
Yeah, because if I had known ahead of time, I would have gone and grabbed that one because that's actually the one I wanted to grab. But I remembered that I had Agatha Christie, Hercule Poirot's Christmas,
and then I found out I had already heated the teapot to the higher temperature. So,
but if that had not been the case, yeah, I would have been grabbing.
We would have both
Hercule
had
Poirot's
Little Grey
Cells. But name a fast read. So the one I ended up grabbing could possibly also be one that goes on holiday. 84 Charing Cross Road by Helene Hanff. I read through this one when I didn't feel well one day, and I think I got it done in an hour, maybe 2.
Yeah.
An hour might be a bit quick, but maybe 2. It's a really fast read.
And I'm reading the second one in the series right now, and it's equal fast. The only reason it's not going faster than it is because I read it when I'm walking and I give it like 10 minutes at a time. And
it sounds like you maybe get through a letter or 2. I'm sorry, that's diary entries for that.
I get through. Actually, that's not the one I do. What's the one I'm doing with that? A.A. Milne. Okay. The Red House is a fast read. I'm just reading it like 10 or 15 minutes at a time.
Smell.
This is why I don't like Kindle books. So, this book right now I have on hold because I don't have time to just sit down and read. But when I do read it, I can read, like 20% in a sitting or 3, and even if it's only 10 or 15 minutes because it's just very fast. Like the A.A. Milne book, it's very, very fast.
Also, one of the reasons I like physical books, I love covers.
Cover art. Yes.
I love cover art.
Well, it's the same thing. Like now, you don't. When you did music, even when they were growing up, but not so much anymore. You had cover art, you had album art, and you had even CD cover art. Now you have MP3s, and there's nothing. Oh, I hate it.
Yeah. Now I actually quibble with their subtitle here. So they have 84 Charing Cross Road, Actually, this might be part of a review. The delightful best-selling chronicle of a 20-year transatlantic love affair by mail. I do not appreciate that subtitle because it's not accurate.
It's not accurate.
It makes it sound like something it's not.
Romantic, yeah.
And it's not a romantic relationship.
It is a love affair with England. And
yes,
with the people there.
But because
the way it's
I think that one can easily mistake this as a romance novel based off that, and that's not it.
It's not a novel.
But I mean, I wasn't sure at first when I read it whether or not it was a memoir or if it was a story. It was only when I had to look on. I honestly had to look on Goodreads to see which it was because I wasn't sure.
I do the same thing with Elizabeth's German Garden to see what
right, because sometimes it's just like because it's not unusual for our authors to have the conceit that this is real. But yeah, so I do not approve of the subtitle because I feel like it is a misrepresentation.
It's clickbait.
Yeah. So.
And a lot of the things that I mentioned, what I packed for a holiday, I misread where I put it, and those were for past reads, actually.
Okay.
Along with A. Milne and this book here.
So then, don't panic. Name a book with great levels of tension or suspense.
Yeah, is that Hunger Games?
Hunger Games.
Yes,
this is the first Hunger Games.
That's what I put as well.
I have not read the other ones yet because when I first read this, I was still working and I read it in one sitting.
Yes.
I couldn't go to sleep. I had to finish the book. It made me cry. It was just, I was sucked in when I read this.
I haven't read it again since I read it because I know that I will not go to bed until I finish it.
So I went ahead and because I don't have the same ability to handle tense reads like I used to, I've gone and spoiled all the books for myself. So now I can go and actually read it for myself without having the same level of tension, but I can still enjoy the writing, which sounds like a bonkers way to read.
Well, you do what you can.
But I really want to finish the series. And so I will be reading this again at some point. I really enjoyed it the first time around, but it was very tense and I couldn't put it down.
I loved the entire series. I read the first book after I saw the first movie, but once I did that, I read all the other books before I saw the other movies.
Well, that's why I've only seen the first movie, because I read the book first, I saw the movie, and then I've not seen any other movies or any books. And actually, it leads on.
Well, don't go on yet.
Okay, go ahead. Because
I dug in my heels. I didn't want to read The Hunger Games. Everybody wanted to. Everybody was saying this, that, and the other. I'm like, I'm not reading it.
I don't remember how I started reading it.
I don't know.
I'm not sure if it was one of those things like Amazon offered it for free, and so I read it. I don't remember.
The only way my husband bought the movie, and so we watched the movie, because I had no interest in it. So fine, whatever.
And I know I read the book first, so I have no idea what got me into reading it.
Well, you wanted me to read it. I didn't want to read it. I just bucked.
And usually I don't want to read the popular thing.
So, but after we read it, I went and I read the book. And then I read all the other ones following, and I fell in love with Peeta. Absolutely love Peeta. He's fabulous.
But what I want to mention is that my Don't Panic actually leads into TV and film adaptations, which that was unintentional. So I have several adaptations here, but I do want to address the Hunger Games one first. So I actually, even though it is a decent adaptation, I have my issues with, and I can only compare at this point the first book to the movie because I have not read all the other books. I have not watched all the other movies.
And keep in mind that we're probably not going to do this like she does, I do, because we're probably going to have a lot of the same things in common. So we're probably just going to
insert. So my issue with this is, and I've mentioned this on multiple places. Now, there is going to be a spoiler for Hunger Games. So if you do not want to be spoiled for Hunger Games,
if you have not read it,
mute us until you see a different book come up. So I think that's probably the easiest way to say that. Okay, with that warning done, we're going to spoil Hunger Games. So the first issue I really remember having with this book is it took out a lot of the punch for the main thing that really kicked me in the teeth when I read this book. It's the thing I remember most about how it made me feel. It's when Rue dies. And the way that she honors her death and the way that she dies is just so...
The way who honors her death.
The way that Katniss honors Rue's death and the way that Rue dies, it's written so well in such a way that, like I said, it brought me to tears.
And it's not just that part of it. It's how her section.
And that's what I wanted to bring up
Yeah.
in particular, because this is what I have my big beef with. And I know there's people who like the way that it handled in the movie, where they ended up having riots in Rue's district. I think that's fundamentally wrong.
Yes.
I think they missed the point because, and I know that Suzanne Collins was involved with the making of the movie, just like J.K. Rowling was with her books. I don't know the level of creative control that was there, though. Anyway, I thought that they fundamentally misunderstood the way they pulled out all the poignancy in the way that was handled. So it was not necessarily a rich district. And when Rue went in, they had to actually expected her to die because she was like 12. She was one of the younger ones, if not the youngest one there. They were most likely knew that when she left, she was probably going to die. So for them to revolt as a result of that seemed unlikely. Whereas the way it was handled in the book, Katniss's first gift comes in the way of
by way of the
little, I guess they were like parachute balloon kind of things. I think they're parachutes that would drop in with a gift because some sort of donor would send a gift, and that's why you would try so hard to be likable. And Rue's district, which was not a rich district, they banded together to get Katniss a gift, some bread that she honestly needed. And that was their thank you for how she honored Rue. And it was so beautiful. And it was a quiet rebellion. It was a quiet support. It was the beginning of the Mockingjay without all the other stuff around it. It hit the heart of Katniss. It showed how she could bring hope to people just by what was at her core. The things that Gale couldn't quite get. And the things that Peeta did get. But it was one of the most beautiful moments in the book. It's the way they mishandled that reaction. It's disappointed me so much because it took all the punch out of it. It made it a violent thing instead of a thank you. And, just it meant so much more in the book. And
it changed the feel of the situation.
It did. And I think that there is a mistake in thinking that a violent rebellion type reaction is more, effective than...
It wouldn't have helped. If you have gratitude, that's not what you do. You try to help the person who did the helping, and that doesn't help Katniss.
No. And it didn't, like I said, it didn't make sense. It's not like Rue died in an unfair way. It wasn't like the game makers went out of their way to make sure that Rue was, killed in this horrendous way or anything like that. She was a normal victim of the Hunger Games. And it didn't make sense for this district, who probably well expected Rue to die because she was one of the youngest, if not the youngest there. It didn't make sense for them to revolt like that. It just was logically wrong. And it made it... Anger is not as powerful an emotion in this situation as the gratitude. It was not as powerful a rebellion because...
Well, it also flies in the face of what's happening. The people in the city there, all they know is oppression. And this is showing love and gratitude. And
anger alone can't inspire. But Katniss provided the hope, and she provided a sense of humanity, and she showed that it was a quiet rebellion. It was, instead of acting like every other combatant, she did something that no one else did, which is she took a moment to care about another contestant, and she made it so her death was not just another casualty of these horrible games. And it was almost like a quiet rebellion, because it was like, you can't take this child's humanity. She died, and
Or
God,
mine.
or mine. You didn't make me into a monster in this situation, and you didn't make it so she was just another number. She died and was honored in a way that was special. And I did not lower myself. I rose above.
I think we need to move on.
Okay, so yes, that was handled sloppily, and I've always felt strongly about that. The other two adaptations I wanted to show, Lilies of the Field,
Which I love.
and you need to read the book, and To Kill a
I love
Mockingbird.
that too.
Lilies of the Field is the first book I remember being disappointed with the adaptation. I read the book first. I want to say I was in high school, maybe a little bit younger. And I remember being so disappointed because it combined two characters, which honestly shouldn't have been combined. It's a good movie. It's a Sidney Poitier.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like it as much as the book.
Love Sidney Poitier.
Because I read the book first and I fell in love with the book.
Well, that's the same thing like with Anne of Green Gables.
Mm-hmm.
And I've never seen the television show. Megan Fallows, I think her name is, looks beautiful as Anne.
Mm-hmm.
But I heard that they combined Mrs. Rachel Lynde and Mrs. Barry.
Mm-hmm.
You can't combine those two characters. They're completely different people. And if that's the case, and I don't know for sure, but if that's the case, I would hate that because it's not right.
And I also think that Sidney Poitier isn't quite as young as the character is in the book.
Yeah, I haven't read
The
the book yet,
character's
so-
only 24.
Yes.
And Sidney Poitier didn't look like he was 24 when he did that movie.
Well, you got to remember, too, that back in that time period,
Yeah.
people looked older because they
Yeah.
were trying to look mature.
Yeah. So I think that also plays, though, into some of the ways that the character behaved.
Mhm.
But the biggest issue, because I was young when I read it, that didn't sink in for me. The biggest issue for me, and like I said, it was the first time I remember hating an adaptation. Not hating it, being upset about what an adaptation did, was combining two characters for this. Now, this one, I had a different reaction. I watched the movie first for To Kill a Mockingbird. The first time I read it, I didn't get it because I was expecting the movie. The second time I read it in a book club, I fell in love. I fell in love with the prose. I fell in love with everything about it. And now I just about equally love the book and the movie. So this is an unusual circumstance where both are very good. There are certain things that are emphasized more in the movie because it's got only so much room. But yes, absolutely love this book.
Now, at the risk of setting Talia off on another tangent, my adaptations are anything Agatha Christie and The Lord of the Rings. I think that Peter Jackson did a fairly good job with Lord of the Rings. It's a lot to do, a lot to get into 3 movies. I think it's just
He
very
butchered Pippin, Merry, and Gimli.
Shush, you talked. My turn.
Butchered.
Yes, I think that relatively speaking, he did a decent
He
job.
got the feel of
He
it.
got the feel of it. Unlike
He overplayed Arwen.
the butchering of the Hobbit. Okay. Don't even get me started. Don't even get her started. We're going to move right along to Agatha Christie. Cards on the table.
Do you really want to go into Agatha Christie?
Cards
Do you
on the-
want to get me started on Agatha
I would
Christie?
prefer that we get started on Agatha Christie as opposed to Lord of the Rings and Hobbit. Agatha Christie's Card on the Table and Agatha Christie's 10 Little Indians, Then There Were None, whatever you want to call it now. I hate the idea that they changed the title name.
Well, and then There Were None was at least a title during Agatha Christie's lifetime. There are 3 different titles
I
during
know.
her
I
lifetime.
know.
So I'm okay. What bothers me more is when you go and read a version of And Then There Were None Now, they changed it to 10 Little Soldier Boys
I don't like that.
instead of 10 Little Indians.
Yes.
And I hate that.
I hate that. I hate
It's
it.
like, if you can't handle being called 10 Little Indians, maybe this book isn't for you.
Yeah, it's just, I prefer that one. That's the one I have that we found it finally.
I made sure I found it
found
that
that,
way
but-
because I hate that. It's like,
the whole thing with the story about the 10 Little
well,
Indians.
they had the particular poem and they
And
made
I-
it. I think they made it like Soldier Island instead of
Yeah,
Indian
so
Island.
became
It's like,
little soldiers
it's like, okay, just
let it
grow
be.
up.
Yeah, let it be. It's not.
It's like,
just,
if you're that easily offended, maybe Agatha Christie's not for you, because you know what? Sometimes there's going to be stuff that's of the time that you're not going to like.
it's not meant to be a slur. It's a nursery rhyme.
Sometimes, honestly, you are going to have some things that were slurs back then because of not in that book, but
Whatever.
I wanted to say in The Chimneys, there are some things I think they have derogatory terms toward Italians and things like that. Was the era.
And then
And if
you
you
learn
can't,
from that.
and you learn that, and if you can't handle it, it's not the book for you.
Yeah, I mean,
if people edit that, I don't have a lot of respect for that. I think that you are a snowflake, basically, if you can't handle it.
I think you need to be able to read what was written for the time it was written and not change it.
Right, and if you know that you can't handle it, just read, I don't know.
Something else. Something else. Be nice.
No.
Be nice.
No, I don't feel like it.
Something else.
I'm trying to think of something suitably childish.
Paddington Bear?
No, I'm sure they'll find Paddington Bears somehow offensive.
Winnie the Pooh?
No. I'm sure there's something like fat phobic or something like that.
Piglet, calling him Piglet. We're being very rotten and nasty, but it's just, I get annoyed and Ty gets annoyed. These things were written at a certain time period. You need to be able to see what those time periods are like. We need to be seeing things the way they were written, so we don't
have the
repeat.
Conversations, and okay, completely changing what a time period looks like so someone's not offended. It does nothing. It takes away all the flavor of the era. Why read a historical book? Why read something of a historical period book? Just read something like some modern crap if you want.
Antiseptic.
I said what I said.
I know you did. Language.
just
No, what, you're not gonna follow up with the quote, are you?
No, I'm not. I'm not.
You dropped the ball.
I did.
You did not take it. You did not take it without hesitation.
So yes, I mean, it's like, I don't know. If you can't handle it, don't read it.
I mean, this is one of those cases where, even though I think it's silly for this particular case, if you want to put warnings on it that this has this kind of stuff, of period, languages or whatever, fine.
I would rather have the stupid warnings than have
it changed.
It changed because, oh no, can't handle it. Clutch my pearls.
You're such a brat. We
had
very strong opinions about this. We're not talking about, graphic adult scenes. We're not talking about.
But I mean, also, we don't read that.
But my point is, this stuff can be offensive to some now. You have to remember this was written then, okay? And then and I keep saying you. This is the universal you, okay? I'm not talking about anybody that's watching particularly.
Right. What is it? So what is the plural you in Spanish again? It's
ustedes.
Ustedes. Mm-hmm. Although that's the ustedes is the
formal.
Or is it? Yeah, it is the formal.
It's formal. Mm-hmm.
It's been a long time since I'm in Spanish. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's not you, dear viewer, specifically.
No, it's everybody, me included.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, it's just
all inclusive. Y'all's, right?
All y'all. So, it's just
because it's just,
that's like,
it's a pet peeve over here.
It is. Well, it's like, if you erase history, and that includes the way things were written back then you are sanitizing it to the point where you can repeat the same things, or you just massively misunderstand how we got to where we are,
and you lose a part of who you are.
Yeah,
you lose a part of what makes you what you are.
Right. I mean, and it takes away layers from those characters as well. You can say, okay, this isn't something that we like in this character, but this character is of his era, and this was considered, to be the way people behaved back then.
Yeah, and I don't like seeing certain kinds of racial slangs and stuff like that either in certain of these books. But I am aware that at this time and with the people that are being portrayed, this is the way they may have been brought up. This is the way they may have spoken and did things, that kind of thing. And, I kind of have to grip my teeth sometimes and bear it, but that's the way it was back then. And we have to know that if we're going to move forward.
Right. I mean, don't expect to have like third wave feminism if you're reading something that was written in the 1800s. That's just not realistic. And honestly, it's just, I don't know, read some of the proposal that they're putting out now if you can't handle it.
Yeah, I don't like a lot of the stuff that's being put out now because I have my own offenses with that. But or they call them now triggers. But no one says that they have to change it. Just don't force us to read it, and that's why I like warnings.
And unfortunately, sometimes when you see adaptations now, it'll be either changed because something can't, because someone might be offended by what was in the book. And I know sometimes you can't fit things in movies. Like I mentioned for To Kill a Mockingbird, there were things that didn't make it in. And that makes sense.
Happens,
you can't cover everything with the same.
I get that.
But, I don't appreciate making a female part bigger or taking something away from a male character that was in the book to give it to a female character because feminism.
Or changing someone from good to bad to make someone look better.
Because they want to make their villain sympathetic. And it's just like...
A villain is a villain.
A villain, there is good, there is bad. Sometimes villains have nuance to what made them who they are, but they made their decisions. Don't make someone else worse because you want to glorify a villain. Maybe write a different story.
Yes.
But that requires having actual, creativity. So, yeah, no, I
think Arian's laughing at her teeth.
Just either make your own stuff, stop making villains.
Yeah, this is a pet peeve for both of us. Stop taking beloved characters and changing them to fit the narrative of today. Write your own story.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, I hate because you end up hurting other characters, what they provided. They aren't just, even minor characters, they provide something to the story. And spoilers for Death on the Nile with Suchet.
Because you might not want to listen if you haven't.
Yeah, so if you've not read Death on the Nile if you've not read Agatha Christie's Death on the Nile, I am referencing that book and Suchet's adaptation of it. I love Suchet's Poirot.
He's the best.
He is the best Poirot. He made an effort to really embody that character. He fought for the character. I have no issues with him.
No,
and Agatha Christie's daughter approved of him.
That whole cast was very well chosen.
Yeah, so I have no issues with Suchet. I have issues with some of the ways that the writers handled it. And one of the things, and this wasn't even one of the more offensive changes that they made, but this makes my point.
I know what you're talking about.
In Death on the Nile, they removed a character. And you would think that wouldn't make that... Actually, they removed two characters.
Did they combine one too?
It wasn't quite a combination. It was a semi-accommodation / removal.
Yeah.
Because that's what happened for both these characters. They removed a nurse, and they removed a young lawyer that I really liked, although he was a minor character. What they ended up doing when they did that is then they had to have the other characters absorb what those characters did, because now they weren't there to provide their part. So then you had this kind of insensitive communist type character. Now he had to play the part that the young lawyer did, which it didn't really fit with his character.
Well, no, I mean
it juxtaposed really oddly, and his actions didn't make as much sense because the lawyer was more like Mon ami Hastings. So a man who wears a tie, like my friend Hastings, would never behave XYZ.
Yes.
So this young man was very much of a, not straight-laced, but that's the closest I can think of. A very well-mannered...
He plays the game.
He plays the game, yeah, as Poirot would say. So he, or actually how Hastings would say. So he couldn't be more different than this young communist character. And when they combined some of his parts and really took out his character, just combined just little aspects, it was enough that's like, that doesn't fit with this character.
It threw everything off.
And now what really threw everything off was when they removed the nurse. Because then the companion girl, Cecilia, had to absorb what the nurse provided, which meant that she had to be the one who stayed with Jackie, which meant that she wasn't there at certain points when she needed to be. It also took away a big part, and this was important, because she had to be with Jackie. She couldn't be there helping the doctor getting the bullet out of Simon. And that's when they started developing their connection. And so when they ended up getting together in the movie, it didn't make as much sense because you took away these character moments. Small characters matter. Agatha Christie built her stories very tightly, and small characters matter. If you don't understand how characters work, don't mess with them, because there are reasons why characters are in certain places when you have good authors. And they completely...
Breathe.
I am breathing. They completely messed up. And it doesn't help that I really liked the two characters that they messed up. But you can see then why what seems to be a small character can make a difference.
Everyone, Daddy and I were talking about this morning in regards to one of the saints saying something like, every person has a purpose. Every person, God didn't make you without a purpose.
Right.
So the same thing with an author who writes like Agatha Christie. Every character has a purpose. It's not a throwaway character.
No. So I'm going to stop and come back. Okay, we're back. And so, there's no throwaway characters. It's just, I mean, that's my biggest issues with adaptations is when they have a fundamental misunderstanding of what's going on. Because you can have, and I talked to my mom, now this is actually an adaptation from a movie to a play, but I felt that Newsies, the movie, was actually pretty well adapted in the play, even though there was a big change that normally I wouldn't like. They took a male character, made him into a female character, but this is why I didn't mind. When they changed Bill Pullman's character into a love interest type character, the original love interest in the movie was barely in it, and they wouldn't have been able to get any song or dance out of her. So I understood, okay, you want to have a romantic song dance. Great. Also, they were able to show other aspects of your lead's character because she was more part of the story. So she actually provided more context for his character, for your villain's character. So she brought more out of the story. She provided something instead of just being... I'll have to answer that later. Instead of just being a... let's slide her in and not really do anything with her. Let's just make her a one-on-one, just this character, but female. They did something interesting with it. And so, unusually for me, I actually don't mind the adaptation for that. And that's where adaptations need to lean. Okay, what are we doing with the story? First of all, can we make it as true as possible, or at least try to say the same things, get the same message? Okay, if we don't feel like we want to do that, if we feel like for whatever reason we need to change it to work better for an adaptation, how can this change actually bring out something more? Can it show something that was already there in in the other characters around them, but shine a different light on because now we have this other character here? What does this character bring to the story now without changing the story completely, but making it richer? And that is a good adaptation. A bad adaptation is just slide someone else in because agenda, or
just because it's easier.
Or because it's easier, or whatever. Like there are good and bad ways to adapt, and unfortunately, too often, people either fundamentally misunderstand the work, or they have their own agendas, or they're just bad at writing. And they don't. They think that they're smarter than the person that wrote the original work. So it's just, there are good adaptations out there. I actually like Neverending Story better as a movie, which
and
is
Princess
rare.
Bride too.
Yes, I hated Princess Bride book.
Yep.
But
And I've read Neverending Story, and I prefer the movies.
yeah, I've only read Neverending Story once.
I read the first one and the second
I
one.
think I remember parts of the second one.
Yeah,
I think
I didn't like the second one as much. And I much prefer the movie.
So there are the rare times where I prefer the movie, but most of the time the book is better. Or on rare occasions, they are equal. And that's where, like I said, things like To Kill a Mockingbird come in. And then, of course, Newsies was a movie to a play, but that's an example of a good adaptation.
I read the one with Pip. Tale of Two Cities? Or,
no, that's Great Expectations.
That's right, Great Expectations. When I was in high school, at the same time we saw the movie. So I kind of like them both.
Les Mis.
Oh, I love Les
Les
Mis.
Miserables. Now, I initially read the abridged version, and I really loved the abridged version. I have an abridged and an unabridged. I will probably be destashing the unabridged. I don't really need the Waterloo rant, which has nothing to do with the plot, really, and kind of bogs things down. But for me, the adaptation isn't a movie that I love. It's the musical. And I don't mean necessarily the way that it was produced as a movie. I feel that certain things weren't pulled over as well. Part of the problem was, the singing for Javert. How do you ruin some of the best songs with
Russell
Crowe? And he has some of the most beautiful songs. They ruined Stars. But, and they made the mistake of they wanted to make everything live, and it just didn't work as well. They should have just leaned into the fact that they could do retakes and stuff without straining their actors. And then, I don't know why Anne Hathaway got so many props for her performance. I didn't like her as Fantine. And the problem is she also tried to cry and sing, and that really is not good for your singing voice. So her song was not as good. The only one I liked was Eponine. And she did
Hugh Jackman did a good job.
Huh?
Hugh Jackman
He was decent. Yeah. But it doesn't help that the guy who played him in the play is just so... He actually played the bishop.
Yeah, I heard that, yeah.
And he's just so... He is that part.
He should have played it.
Well, he was too old at that point.
Yeah.
Anyway, so... Hugh Jackman did a decent job, and to his credit, he didn't just try to imitate. You can't just imitate. You have to, as much as possible, make it your own. But the only one I really loved was the girl who played Eponine, and she did do Eponine at least for a while on the play, and it shows. It shows that she has musical background. And of course, they pulled in Hadley Fraser randomly, just as a short little throw-in part.
I was really upset with the one with Liam Neeson. Because,
yes. Did he slap her?
There's that. There's this weird kind of relationship thing that they're trying to put across, and also Eponine had a very small part.
Well, to be fair, I think Eponine's part was expanded for the musical. I can't remember. I have to reread the book.
Yeah, I seem to remember more of Eponine than there was in maybe between the two somewhere.
Because
and Marius and all that. It was just really strangely done. I didn't care for that one much.
I wanted to like Liam Neeson better than I did.
I didn't like it much.
They lost me completely when they had Valjean slap not Eponine Cosette. There's no way he would have ever slapped Cosette.
No, he wouldn't.
He about doored the ground she walked on. There's no way he would have slapped her ever.
The other one that I haven't read yet, and I need to do it, is Hunchback of Notre Dame.
I haven't. I keep intending to.
I love the movie with Maureen O'Hara and Charles Laughton.
I've only seen the Disney cartoon.
That's good too, but Charles Laughton is good in everything. And Maureen O'Hara, I love her. It's a really, but I don't know how accurate it is because I haven't read the book yet.
Right.
That is one of the ones I want to check out. There was another one that just skips my mind off the top. I had it in my head and I can't remember. So.
And earlier in the year, for the Westerns, I read Red River and I read True Grit. And True Grit, I think, is about equal for me. I have a lot of emotional attachment to the movie. So, like I said, it's probably about equal for me. Red River, I haven't quite made up my mind because I really like Montgomery Clift and John Wayne in their parts, and I think that and I prefer Cherry in the movie.
I was gonna say I like Cherry,
but Cherry is not not a good person in the book. But it did make certain aspects that always kind of felt off to me in the movie make more sense. I always felt like the female character was just kind of off and not really didn't make sense. And when I read the book, I was like, oh, okay. They tried to pull her over, but they didn't want to deal with certain aspects, the depth of her character. And so she just came off feeling odd. So the book made the move, what I felt was missing in the movie, it almost like filled in those gaps for me. And I'm not sure if they were just shying away from aspects of her character because they felt like it didn't look as good, or I don't know.
I have both True Grit and the one you just mentioned, Red River. I've seen both of them. I don't have the book for Red River. I do have True Grit. Don't derail me. And then I have also, there was another one. Shane I have, and I think Stagecoach is a book.
It is not. It's a short story, I believe.
Okay, well, it's still written. I want to see how all those hold up. I've seen True Grit multiple times.
310 to Yuma is either a short story or a book. I have that.
Well, the one I was disappointed in was The Maltese Falcon. I think it held up well in terms of being
I've heard that it's almost word for word.
Verbatim, but there were not, maybe because of the censors in the 40s and stuff like that, there was none of the language and stuff. So I was very disappointed in the book. I couldn't read it. I couldn't finish it. So
Shane was another one I remember as a kid being disappointed because the way, for me, I felt like the whole thing with the stump was built up. It didn't, even though in reality, I think looking back, the movie did a pretty decent job in building up.
Yeah.
But as a kid, I was like, the book did it so much. Lilies in the Field and Shane were the first two books I remember being disappointed when the adaptation didn't hit something. And for that stump, the attacking of the stump, like really like hit me in the book. Even though I don't even think I completely registered why it meant so much, because there was a lot of undercurrent there that a kid wouldn't pick up on. But
we should probably get this.
Yeah, we probably should.
You're going to be getting over an hour for this, so
yeah. So yes, this is.
We could go on and on about this, a whole nother video. So.
Yeah, adaptations are something that I tend to feel strongly about. Well, if I'm going to feel something about something, I'm going to feel strongly about it for the most part.
And she'll let you know.
Yes, I will.
Ad nauseum.
Ad nauseum, yep. And that's why I have this channel, so I can speak ad nauseum about things that no one wants to hear about, and about things that will chase off people, because I don't care. It's my channel.
Watch or not watch as you see fit. At your own risk.
Watch or not to watch, that is the question.
To watch or not to watch, that is the question.
So, yes. Gotta take me as I am, or...
Not at all.
Not at all. It's fine.
Okay. Tag people.
You are tagged, and you are tagged, and you are, and you, and you, and you.
Yes, we're pointing, and I guess we're tagged because we're pointing 3 fingers at ourselves. But anyway, I don't know if she's going to put it below on her video or not, but if you are watching this and you'd like to join this tag, feel free.
Yep. And you just smacked me. Thank you.
If you're welcome, you deserved it. if you stayed with us to the end, you get
congratulations,
major props because I'm impressed.
Yes, because that was a rant.
We are acquired taste.
Yes,
so,
we are. She's nicer than I am
most of the time. Most of the time. Yes, I yes. Anyway, I will take that. But this is your channel, so close it up.
It is. So, thank you so much for joining for this Hitchhiker's Guide tag / rant. If you like she said, if you lasted this long, congratulations.
You guys are awesome.
You get like confetti coming down. Ooh.
You have to imagine it though.
Yeah. It's invisible confetti.
And it's biodegradable, so you don't have to worry about.
Yeah, it just
doesn't make a mess.
It's magic.
It's magic. You want to thank the person who tagged us.
Yeah, so thank you very much. Because I was like, no, it's not Gavin who tagged us. I had to double check.
Ghost Readers
for Ghost Readers in the Sky for tagging us. I'm sorry for you. Because if you had to watch this because
Your tag?
your dad, yeah, I'm
You guys
sorry.
are awesome.
I'm not sorry for the video. I'm just sorry for you guys.
That's her way of saying sorry, not sorry. Okay.
So thank you very much. Have a great day, and we will see you
Next
next time. God bless. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.